by the issues.
Now, funding for healthy lifestyle support like stopping smoking and obesity clinics has been cut by a quarter in 6 years in England. That's according to the Health Foundation, who said councils received...
Sickle cell treatment in 20 years will help keep thousands of people out of hospital over the next 3 years. That's according to NHS England. Sickle cell disease...
Played Captain Kirk in the Star Trek series is going to embark on a real-life journey into space. The US tech billionaire...
Watford have appointed Claudio Ranieri as manager on a 2-year contract. The Italian returned
today. The weather, it is really, really wet, particularly in the capital. Much of northern England and Wales is going to see spells of heavy rain. Elsewhere, it should remain...
OK, you're watching the Great British Breakfast. Now, the launch of Scotland's coronavirus vaccine passport app has been hit by widespread reports of technical problems, as we said earlier. Well, Scottish Government has told users unable to register to try again in a couple of hours.
Let's find out more. Our Scotland reporter, David Johnson, is with us live. David, that analysis, based on what we just heard from Matt Vickers, the Conservative MP, who was really pouring quite a lot of cold water on the idea for vaccine passports to be put in place in England. Well, we'll have more clarity on that.
Actually. Yes, most, you know, aren't behind it at all, and we can see possibly why now. Right, coming up, we'll have the latest on Insulate Britain and their mission to block Britain's roads. But first, the weather.
Good morning.
Lives could be lost, and it's what we've said from the off, isn't it?
We can find out more now. Our Home Affairs and Security Editor, Mark White, joins us. Mark, you know, what's the
clock? Let's speak now to the climate journalist, Donica McCarthy. Donica, good morning to you. Thanks for joining.
Good morning.
Your views. Joe has said it is time to jail them, stop giving them a voice. It serves to only encourage them. Gary, thank you very much for getting in touch, who says, why aren't these people protesting at the Chinese and the Indian embassies? Andy has said, if they actually believed in the cause, as they are so well funded, why don't they practice what they preach rather than cause delays and spout hot air, thus causing more global warming?
And I think the problem is, and the situation is, we're all concerned. We're all concerned, but the actions are putting a lot of people against these protesters, these people that have the passion for doing this. It puts you off the concerns of climate change, and that was prevalent across social media yesterday. I know that, and it's in the press today. I mean, no one is siding with them right now.
I mean, they are, it looks as though, successfully changing legislation in terms of how people can be arrested in a protest and what type of punishment they should receive. Priti Patel is going to speak directly about Insulate Britain, and potentially we're going to hear some kind of ASBO-type infrastructure for people who demonstrate in this way and cause significant disruption. We'll be hearing more about that from the Conservative Party conference a little bit later, but do keep your views coming in. It's great to hear it from you. You can email us gbviews@gbnews.uk.
Right, coming up, how can you keep your mind and body healthy? That's the question. We'll be picking up some tips on how to help our mental health. Stay with us. About this is Dr. Antonis Kasoulis, Director of the Mental Health Foundation.
Kirk in the Star Trek series is going to embark on a real-life journey into space. Lots to come here. We're going to be speaking to a former Cabinet Minister, David Mellor, about the Conservative Party conference. And later, we're going to be joined by the Policing Minister, Kit Malthouse. How will he deal with Insulate Britain blocking our roads? First, though, it is a wet day for most. Let's have a quick look at the weather. To just feel absolutely exasperated. I guess it's sort of in similarity to the people who were stuck there yesterday. Claire has said, I strongly feel that should a person die as a result of Insulate Britain's road blockades, they should be arrested and charged with manslaughter. Now, that sounds extreme, but we are in a situation where emergency services, paramedics, who was in one of those clips we just showed you there, they can't get to the hospital, and it's the front page of the Daily Star today. The head of Insulate Britain has said the group's founder said he'd do the same even if a patient was dying. So they would happily stop an ambulance crew from getting to hospital. Well, to tell us more about this, joining us now is our Home Affairs and Security Editor, Mark White. Mark, a very good morning to you. You know, we know that...
Could hear him a little bit there. No, I think we're going to move on. Let's move on now. Talk about social media. If you posted or tried to post an Instagram post yesterday, you wouldn't have been able to, or WhatsApp. That was the first thing for me. I was trying to WhatsApp someone and I couldn't. And that is because it was out, a blackout across over to Tom Harwood, who's in Manchester for the rest of the day. Big announcements from the Premier League to the World Cup and also tennis as well. Starting off with the Premier League, and so there we are, that's the sport for you. We'll be back tomorrow. Do get your views in for the rest of the day as well, though. Anything you want to talk about that we've been discussing on the Great British Breakfast.
That's it from us. We'll be back tomorrow morning from 6. Stay with us here on GB News. Up next, Tom Harwood is live at the Conservative Party conference in Manchester with the briefing. Before that, let's look at the weather.
Good morning. Some will have a fine day.